Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. It is Economic Insights and I'm your host, Paul Kingsley. In continuation with the ongoing report we are doing on housing deficits in Nigeria, today we have a wonderful man that is contributing in no small way to the development of the real estate sector. I'm talking of Bishop Lawrence. He is the Managing Director, CEO of Baruch and Phareex. We shall be discussing on the challenges affecting the sector and also how they are contributing to the development of the housing sector. If you agree with me, today in Nigeria we are having over 17 million housing deficits. Quite unfortunate, but we shall be talking about the solutions, to tackle this menace. It promised to be an interesting conversation. Sit back, relax. I'll be back after this time out.
Home ownership is a priority for most Nigerians. However, the accessibility has remained a dream for a significant proportion of the population due to limited sources of suitable financing and limited access to affordable housing. Baruch and Phareex Limited has distinguished itself to become one of the leading players in the housing sector in Nigeria, with the aim of delivering accessible and affordable homes to Nigerians. Bishop Lawrence is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer.
Baruch and Phareex is a company born out of a passion for shelter for people, because we are all about people. So Baruch and Phareex, the name connotes Baruch means bed, Phareex means light up, take over. So that's how we came about the name Baruch and Phareex. So Baruch and Phareex was registered in 2009. We started very little. We started with Map Global 2010-11. In fact, we were virtually like mainly marketing, and we had a partnership with Map Global back then, when Map Global was developing Krasana, was developing Galadimawa. They had sites in all of these places, so we partnered with them. We started at a point, we buy, we develop, then we sell. That's how we started. Very little. So gradually we moved. We've also marketed other estates like Oakleaf. Yeah, Oakleaf developed an estate in somewhere in Lube, where we partnered, we've developed, and that's how we started. We have a burning passion for people, basically for people, and hence we are in the industry of providing shelter. So we look at ways on how to provide refuge for people, and this for me is a passion, not the money, because like I said, we started in the city and we moved out of the city. So, and somebody who has started something in the city and moved out of the city, you know how it is. So for us, it's a passion. When you finish a project and you see people, you hand keys and families go into the house and come out, it gives me joy. Just see how people are able to live, you know, in that space that you've created for them.
With its commitment to providing affordable homes to Nigerians, Baruch and Phareex has successfully developed some key housing development across the country.
We started in Karsana with Map Global. We started development there, and we buy into projects, you know, a kind of partnership. But because at then we couldn't afford such big lands. So what we did was, when a developer like Map Global, who already had, you know, all of that, all we did was buy some few plots in the estate, then develop them and sell. So, and that's how we started. Then the estates that we've developed that have distinguished us, like I said, World Palace Estate in Masaka. We also have Smile Estate in Karshi. We don't limit ourselves just to, you know, big projects like that. We also do smaller projects like what we currently did in Jahi is a 4-bedroom terrace duplexes, 4 units, very exquisite and very luxurious. Is something that you actually will need to see. Mass housing, or the low income we are talking about now. If you are talking about low income, you are talking about providing maybe like a 2-bedroom that goes for, like, for instance, 5 million or 3 million naira. Now, for a developer, like, because it's the same challenges that most developers face. You see, for you to get a land in FCDA, a mass housing land, provided, okay, let's give an instance, like you want to do such a project. A land is provided for, you get a land for maybe like 25 hectares, and you are looking at achieving 3 million, 5 million kind of building for the low income earners. Presently, such a land, you cannot get it less than 1 billion naira. So you see, right from the get-go, you have embarked on a project that you fail. Our governments have not been able, it's not just to budget for housing or send money to mortgage houses. No. If housing is taken seriously, I think we should get more result than what we are having now. It is not as easy as we just mention mortgage. It's not easy. Even as a developer, it takes you, you know, you go through, it's like you want to run for an election. The process is cumbersome. My advice for young Nigerians today, if you are a young Nigerian and you're watching me and you're listening to me, we should pay less attention to certificates. We have this crave, we have this energy. I just want to go get this certificate. What does a young Nigerian want to read anatomy or atomic technology for? You get what I'm saying? So now, in this industry, we are looking for plumbers. We are looking for POP specialists. We are looking for electricians. And I will shock you, do you know that for you to get some of these artisans, you have to employ foreigners. I think what we should be doing is, establish good technical colleges. If we pay less attention to obtaining biochemistry certificate and all of that, and somebody who is supposed to read biochemistry is reading plumbing, it will do us good. My name is Bishop Lawrence. My name, not a title, not a nickname, my name. I am a local, simple boy. As you can see, I am not a loud person. I beg just to remain at my corner. I'm from Taraba State, currently living and doing business in Abuja. I've been here for the past probably 20 years now. I studied estate management, and after graduation I picked up architecture, and after that currently I'm running a business course with Allen Business School, London, online. I'm married.
We must say a very big thank you. It's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your contribution on the program. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
You're welcome.
It's glad to know you're watching your program. It is Economic Insights, and I'm your host, Paul Kingsley. Now, in continuation with the ongoing report we are doing on infrastructure development in Nigeria, today we are spotlighting a company that are doing so well in the power sector. I'm talking of RAP Power Industries Limited. And on the program today, we shall be discussing with the general manager, and he is Rohit Kondroli. We're looking at the challenges, issues affecting the industry, and also how we can provide solutions to the power sector. It promised to be an interesting conversation. Sit back, relax. I'll be back after this time out.
RAP Power Industries has distinguished itself to become one of the leading power companies in Nigeria, providing qualitative, timely, and cost-effective services in the power sector. The company was incorporated in 2010 with the aim of delivering services in the area of supplies of transmission and distribution equipment in the power sector. Rohit Kondroli is the general manager.
RAP Power Industries Limited was incorporated in Nigeria in the year 2010. Basically, we are the representative, let's say authorized representative of manufacturers from India and some other countries who are into transmission and distribution supply of equipment. So basically, if there's any project in power segment, whether it is a substation, transmission line, or any distribution network, whatever equipment they are required by a utility or any contractor to execute those projects, we are supplying those products from India and some other countries as well. So that is our brief profile, and it's like a one-stop shop for all those products that we can get from RAP Power, all our customers. Now, if we talk about how we established, like I said, we were established in 2010. So you might be aware at that point in time there was a very popular and very big project which was floated by the government in Nigeria. It is called NIPP, National Integrated Power Project. So in that particular project there was a lot of transmission, distribution and generation projects which were floated by the government. Now let's say if any project is there for transmission or distribution, it requires 80% or 90% of equipment coming from offshore countries, because they are not produced in Nigeria. So all those contractors had an issue as far as sourcing of those products were concerned, because let's say for a project, if they require 20 manufacturers who are dealing in different items, so they had to talk to 20 different companies all over the world. So we identified this problem. If a contractor spends his time identifying the companies, getting technical documents from them, it is a very cumbersome process. So we identified that need, and we got in a contract and agencies with those reputed manufacturers, and we acted like their local office. So whatever documents or technical information is required either by NIPP or by contractor, we were able to provide them locally. They don't have to call anybody outside Nigeria that okay, we need so and so information. If any queries are there, any technical queries are there, we are able to respond to them in a very short span of time. So they found it very attractive and very convenient also. So instead of devoting their time in spending their energy in talking to various companies outside Nigeria, they were able to focus on the delivery of the project. That's why we made their life very easier. That's how we started our business. First of all, we started with the distribution products. Eventually, we moved on into transmission segment also. Now, if we talk about TCN or NIPP projects, I can safely say 60, 70, or in some cases 80% of equipment are supplied by us through our associated manufacturers.
Over the years, RAPA has become a preferred supplier for several utilities and EPC contractors in Nigeria and other African countries.
As far as our impact is concerned, I would say in two ways. First of all, if any project has been announced by government, any power project, it is very important that the project should be completed in a time-bound manner. And the most critical aspect for the project is how soon you can supply equipment for that project. Remember, these power projects are quite capital intensive. 80% of equipment coming from overseas. You can imagine how much depends upon the efficiency of a manufacturer. In our own case, we make sure that we are able to supply those equipment in a very short span of time, even at 2 months or 3 months at the maximum, while other manufacturers are taking up to 5-6 months. So faster we are able to deliver, faster is the execution that a contractor can do, and ultimately which can lead to the timely handover of the project. And secondly, we keep on upgrading and talking to our customers in TCN and NIPP how they can upgrade their products from time to time, so that since we are closely working with the manufacturers, so whatever inputs they are able to provide, we can pass on that knowledge and information to utilities, and they can incorporate those specification upgrade in their own network also. That is how we are able to impact the power segment.
RAPA Industries is highly qualified with young dynamic management and technical team with years of corporate and field experience to undertake and execute any given task in its field of endeavors.
As far as projects are concerned, I am sure we have supplied more than 200 projects. I mean, our supply equipment to those projects. If I have to call a few projects, specific projects, I would say in case of NIPP, we had supplied more than 15,000 energy efficient transformers from India. NIPP being one of the very big project, and they decided to use a special type of transformer which was quite having a better features and more energy efficient also. So in a very short span of time, I think we supplied more than 60 to 70% of the total requirement, and all those transformers have been commissioned, installed in the system, and they are working satisfactorily till now. And apart from that, this was about distribution. If I talk about transmission, there is one specific project I would like to recall. It's Katsina Daura transmission line. It is in the north. So that project had been lingering because of some reason the contractor or the manufacturer were not able to supply the transmission towers. So the management of TCN and NIPP jointly gave that contract to us that RAP Power should supply those towers, and we manufactured those towers in a short span of 2 months, 2.5 months, and we not just supplied, we cleared from the port, delivered to site, and eventually the contractor was able to execute the job, and it has been commissioned also. So like that, many jobs we are doing. Recently, for the last 3-4 years, we have been on a periodic basis supplying 15 MVA and 7.5 MVA transformers to various communities through an IPP, and all of those transformers have been commissioned and serving the communities wherever they have been installed. I'm sure whenever you are into a business, you will definitely face some challenges. That's a part of life. But yes, if I talk about our own segment, since we cater to supply of equipment, I would say the most challenging part is clearing from the port and delivering it to our customers. Actually, this is not something which can be easily mitigated also. It is just because of intricate documentation, the clearing takes time in Nigeria. Now I'll just give you an example. If you're supplying for any power project in Nigeria, it is duty exempted, that you don't pay any duty. But process of getting a duty exemption, they call it import duty exemption certificate, IDEC, is so complicated, so tedious, that it might take contractor 5 or even 6-7 months to get a certificate. So you can imagine a scenario. We have produced the equipment, we have shipped, equipment is in Nigeria already, meanwhile the contractor has not got the IDEC because of those delays. Now this is not something that cannot be rectified. It is very simple. Maybe if management decides maybe to sit with contractors, how we can plug these loopholes. A simple solution is whenever they are signing any new contract, they should provide a blanket import duty exemption, instead of renewing it every year and going from one ministry to another ministry, then to custom and so on. Instead of that, when they sign a contract, they know it is coming for power equipment, so why not give a blanket approval of duty waiver, so that for the lifetime of the project it is covered. This is one reason. Now, even just I'll give you a small example. Last week I met one of my supplier, my contractor. We supplied him it was also one container. He needed few equipment to complete a project. We supplied him containers since April. It is in Apapa. Up till now it has not been cleared. So you can imagine, assuming he would have cleared it in April, delivered to site, the project would have completed by now. But now there are twofold impact. First of all, cost is very high to clear. Assuming if he was clearing in April, he would have paid 1 million or 2 million naira. Now he is ending up paying 8 or 9 million. So you can imagine, first of all, loss of his profit also, and secondly, delay in the project. A typical project, they will require 80, 90 or 100 containers. If he's spending extra on 5 million on each container just because of this issue, so you can imagine how will he sustain. So in other African countries, I always give example. We are supplying to East Africa also, Kenya, Tanzania and Malawi. No matter what the size of shipment, they are able to clear in 3 days, 4 days, maximum 5 days. Whether it is 1 container, 5 or 100 containers. So you can imagine the scale. So this is one area that can be worked upon.
The ever-increasing demand and mega supply of energy in Nigeria has been a great challenge to our development. This situation is becoming critical, with increasing population not balanced by an adequate energy development program. The incessant power generation failure has grossly affected the economy, seriously slowing down development in rural and sub-rural settlements.
Nigerian power sector has come a long way. Of course, many outsiders who are not into this power segment, they always say nothing is happening. But it's not like that. Government is investing money through budget also. If there are budgetary constraints, government is using World Bank funding, French government funding is also, the EU funding is there. So from last 6-7 years, they have been on and off funding those projects. So it's not to say that nothing is happening. So I'm sure it is just going to take its own time, because capital project, once you start, it's not that tomorrow you can deliver the project. So it takes time for you to see the result of those implementation of those projects.
According to industry experts in the energy sector, the continuous electricity load rejection by distribution companies, DISCOs, could worsen the epileptic power supply and cause more economic loss to the country.
Privatization, when the government decided to do the privatization, I'm sure it was with a good intention, but unfortunately some of the outcomes have not been as government might have anticipated. Privatization, as to say, is not a bad thing to do, because even in some countries, even in India, some cities have been privatized. But my personal take is that assuming instead of doing it nationwide, let's say if it was done on a pilot basis, one township or in one city or one state for that matter, and then they would have discovered where are the loopholes, then they would have taken course correction and then implemented nationwide. Okay, first of all, if the government is able to fund these, although we are not a contractor per se, because we are just the suppliers, but we whenever we interact with our contractor, they always have this complaint that their project is not been adequately funded. So let's say if any contract is signed, although the ideal project implementation time is 2 years, but because of funding gap, they're not able to deliver over a extended period of time. That is one area. Secondly, if the import processes can be simplified, I think a lot of projects can move. I'm sure government is trying to bring, if there is funding constraint, government is also trying to do some donor agencies to rope in those agencies to get funds, but I think it's a work in progress. So if government pays more attention to it, it can be resolved. Renewable energy is one of the upcoming and new alternative sources of energy, and the way Nigeria is situated, especially for solar, it's a good potential because the solar radiation impact is good, so we can have many projects that can be work on that renewable segment. But although we are not into that sphere directly, but when I talk to people who are the industry experts in solar segment or renewable, they have just few concern, maybe policy driven or security related. Normally when they talk about policy, whenever anybody is investing, of course he would like to recover the money, so he has to see that feasibility, that my money, my investment is safe in that. And most people talk about sovereign guarantee funds and that guarantee that in case their payments are stuck, so that they can get paid from government. But I think government is also trying to convince them, and even trying to rope in some other agencies like World Bank to provide some partial risk guarantees. So I'm sure it's just a policy issue, and already government has been signing so many PPAs over 1 gigawatt. So although they have not seen the day of light of day, so I think they must be discussing with government how to get over those impediments. And I won't quite agree to that statement. In fact, if you ask me, our equipment, 90 to 95% equipment we are supplying to local indigenous companies only. And whenever we are supplying equipment, they are able to deliver the jobs also. I would say they have some funding constraints because of which the project gets delayed, but I don't see that there is any paucity of any managerial or project implementation skills. They have been delivering the projects. Whenever I talk to any Nigerian young person or any person, so I always find them very innovative, very creative, and innovative they are. But I'm sure if there's a right kind of environment or right kind of mentorship is there, I'm sure they can do a lot of things. The only thing I would say is that they should not just look at being a job seeker, they should try to be a job creator also. So now the world is globalized, it's a day of internet, social media, so they can get a lot of ideas from one country or the other, what is happening in other countries, like in e-commerce space. They can try a lot of things. And one beautiful thing about IT is that it gives equal opportunities to everybody, so they can make good use of this platform and do great things. My name is Rohit Kandroli. I am the General Manager of Rap Power Industries Limited. We are based out of Abuja.
Well, this is the time we permit us to must say a very big thank you, sir.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.